Now we've gotten to that point when we usher in our first guest. Kasimu Otono was among the aspirants for the Edo State governorship ticket, but was screened out. He will be discussing the overview of the screening process and where it leaves the party, the chances in the contest. Welcome to the morning show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Arise.
All right then.
Thank you for being here.
So let's go straight into it. The APC opted for direct primaries in Edo State for the upcoming election. There was a need to, I remember reading the need to consult with the 29 aspirants to streamline the number for a more united front in the main election. Now, I want to know how this consultation went. What was the screening like? What was the criteria for the selection process? And are you okay with the results of that screening?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, let me correct an impression. I was not part of the screening. I was, when the invitation was sent over to me, I was not in the country. I just came back last night. And also I'm aware that the 29 aspirants, it has been pruned down to about 6. That is 2 per senatorial district. And for all intent and purpose, I think the party is doing what is right in the best interest of the aspirants. But I think for my person that was not around, I think I should have been contacted, to ask maybe if I could attend. I could not attend at that time, but at least it would have been done maybe via Zoom or something to give me that, sense of belonging. That's my thought about it. But for the party to have screened the aspirant, it's a good step in the right direction.
Well, let's just quickly follow up. Some critics argue that the screening process might create, internal divisions within APC in Edo State. Do you think that this is something that might happen, or how do you believe that the party can address those concerns and foster unity? Like you said, it's gone from 29 to 7. So we have to 6, sorry. Yeah. So we have about 20-something plus people who might feel that they, taken out of the screening process might be slighted. Do you think this will foster any disunity in the party?
Well, what I think is if there's a screening, obviously that means if they have agreed for the party to screen, that means definitely the screening committee will come out with, their resolution or their reports by streamlining the aspirants to a sizable number. Mm-hmm. So I believe if some people are screened out, if it is justifiable, then it's okay. Except it's not justifiable, that's when they can, be angry about what they did.
Yeah, so now we have 6 candidates and 6 aspirants,
yes.
And I think we're now going to have direct primaries,
yes,
right,
direct
within
primary.
the APC.
Yeah.
And some people believe that direct primaries allow for corruption to enter the system. APC has had a situation in the past where there were more votes in the direct primary than there were in the general election. Yeah. How do you feel about this adoption of direct primaries, and do you think that there is a clear front runner in the race, as some people are speculating?
Well, what I think about the direct primary is that direct primaries is for card-carrying members. Mm-hmm. So if you are doing that, you are bringing inclusivity to all the members, not streamlining, not delegates per se, calling all the card-carrying members. This is your opportunity. Come and decide who gets the tickets. So I think it's okay, if you ask me.
And also, do you think that there is a front runner within the top 6 aspirants?
I'm the front runner. It's just that I was not screened. So
well, within the 6.
Within the 6, well, they are okay. The only joy I have there is that we have a youth there that represents the younger generation. Mm-hmm. Every other people are okay, but the youth that is included in the 6 aspirants, I think, is a welcome development for the younger generation.
Okay, and because in Edo State, one of the things that's going on within the other parties is this idea of rotation, Edo South versus Edo North, and it seems that you are against the notion of, you've been quoted, or is it a misquote, that you don't believe in rotation, you believe it's just about competence?
Well, I've never said anything on air about the rotation, but if you ask me about rotation, for Edo is a very unique and significant state. Okay. If you're talking about rotation, yes, I'm aware that the ASAN, that is the Edo Central, they are agitating for rotation, that is their turn. But if you look at the last general elections, Labour Party won. So if you ask me about rotation, I would tell you, okay, there's no point to...
So Labour Party won what?
Presidential election.
Okay, yes.
In Edo State.
Yes.
So that's to show you there are some forces on ground, the obedient movements. You can't take that out of Edo State. Okay. So if you have to win an election, you must check the odds. If we take it here, are we going to win? If we put it in the south, are we going to win? If we put it in the central, are we going to win? If we put it in the north, are we going to win?
So it's about winning and not about...
It's about winning
equity.
for now, because we don't have the power, and you cannot give what you don't have. My party, APC, is an opposition party in the states.
It's the opposition party?
Yes, in the states. Why PDP is the ruling party? PDP can freely, give power to whoever they think they want to give the power to. But my party, APC, we are desirous of winning an election. So taking the ticket to a particular zone means that, okay, if we take it here, that means we have the chances of winning the election.
But so does that mean, so it's not, I mean, beyond that, so you're arguing that winning elections is more important than equity, because if you're equitable, you don't think you'll win the election?
Equitable can go into any of the senatorial districts. We have competent people and aspirants.
And equity in terms of rotating, so that the people of Edo Central, as you said, get their own turn to be able to be in power. It happened in the general election, right?
Yes.
APC's stance was that it was the South's turn. So if we're now taking it to the gubernatorial election, why isn't APC's stance that is Edo Central's turn?
Now, like I said, my party has not zoned it to any of the senatorial districts. It is open, it's free for all. So it could happen that Edo Central can still get the tickets. So if they're agitating, there is their turn. If they get the ticket, fine. So what we are trying to do is that, okay, give every zone a level playing ground, let them come on bear and see who is the best, that has the competence to lead Edo State.
Okay. All right, then let's talk about the role of INEC in ensuring a credible election. It has been a topic of discussion for a long time. There have been a lot of suggestions, even from the former INEC chairman, Professor Jega, talking about the need to unbundle INEC, the need for electric voter registration. But let's talk about how confident you are in INEC's ability to conduct a free and fair, and I would say transparent election in Edo State. What measures would you propose to enhance the electoral process so that we are not now caught up in another bottleneck that has to maybe end up, in the appeal court, or has to go to Supreme Court before we now get a candidate, as it were?
Yeah, INEC, if you ask me, I strongly believe that INEC is doing a great and good job. The Beavers has done a whole lot in the electoral system and process. I can tell you for a fact that the last election, we witnessed what the Beavers did, and it's very, very commendable, because with the Beavers, it's like a measure to protect and guide the electorates. There's nothing like overvoting anymore, and you can see some of the cases that went to court, to the appeal courts. It was Beavers that got them their victory. So I really want to commend INEC, because that Beavers is like a magic to the electoral process.
No, but even to just push up on that, we're talking about other, fine, the introduction of Beavers in itself was a good thing, even though there are those that will argue with you that the implementation was what caused all of that back and forth when it comes to the elections. Yeah. But I'm talking about other things like, voters registration, investigation or, arrest and prosecution of, certain people that have disrupted the electoral process, removing those responsibilities in order to enhance the efficiency of, INEC. So those are the kind of things I'm talking about. So if you look at those positions, even the logistics of it, would you still say that, you are very comfortable with INEC, handling the electoral process in Edo State for this particular election?
Yes, I'm comfortable with them handling it, because there's no other better institution that can do that job except INEC.
So I want to ask, let's actually go away from INEC and let's now go back to something that you mentioned, because you said you are happy that there is a youth representation within the aspirants for the APC. Yes. So what value does a youth candidate bring to the race, do you think?
Well, I feel Nigerian youths are equipped with ideas. They are vibrant. They are very courageous. They are tough. They can withstand the storm. And for a very long time, if you ask an average youth in Nigeria, not even in Edo State, they are angry with governance, that they've not been included, they've not been engaged, a whole lot of things. And I believe if the youths can be given the opportunity to serve, let's see what they can do, instead of, the complaints and the agitation over the years. That's why I'm happy that at least a youth is among the aspirants.
Okay, and if a youth is given the chance to serve, do you think they should start in the governorship house, or do you think that they should maybe build experience on a more local level, or you think that the competence, because there's a question of if untested, an untested person is competent for a role just as big as governor. Yeah. So what do you think about that?
Well, I don't think governorship is a big thing to me, because of, if you look at some world leaders, Emmanuel Macron became president at 41. Ukraine president became president at 43. JF Kennedy, 43. Take it down to Edo State, the first governor from 1999, Lucky Benedion.
Yes.
42 years.
Yeah.
Yaya Bello, 41 years. And I believe these are governors that, did well when they were in power. So I think it's not about seeing if the youth can do a much more. The youth I'm talking about, even in this, in the 6 shortlisted aspirant, has been, is a sitting House of Rep member.
Okay.
So it's not new to the system.
Yeah, it's not untested. That's what I was saying about untested. Like, JFK was in the House of Reps. He was a senator before he was president. So that's what I'm talking about.
He's presently a legislator in the Federal House of Representatives.
Yeah, I was just trying to clarify that.
Yeah.
All right, then I just want to touch on, you did say that you've been away and you just got back into the country yesterday night, and you were not necessarily able to do the screening, be it via, virtual means or whatnot. I'm just curious to know if you're going to be doing anything to see if you can still be part of that process, or if it's something you've just taken in stride and you're going to wait till next time, or if it's something you're going to be taking up with the NWC. Okay,
I've not been away. I just had the family engagements, but shortly before Xmas.
Yes.
And that was when I was away. That was when the call came in. Yes, like I said, I've been a very party loyal man, and whatever the party says, I'm okay with it. But what I think is, coming back to Nigeria now, I'll still try and talk to the leadership of the party if it's possible for them to, screen me, fine. If they said it's over, then I'm okay with it.
You're okay waiting for another 4 years?
Because I cannot force the party to do what they're not supposed to do. Right. But if I tell them, okay, I was away while this screening...
Yeah, but have you had that conversation? Because, there's this huge push, for you as a youth candidate from APC. Yeah. So I'm just curious to know what exactly the disconnect is about. Like you said, you were away for just a family engagement. So why wasn't there a communique? Why weren't you informed about the screening process? Does that raise certain alarm bells for you? Or, like you said, you're just going to take it in its stride?
Yeah, I said I was informed about the screening exercise. But what they did not do, they did not, contact me about the screening anymore. I was informed. They called me. They said there's going to be a screening. I told them I was not around. But after that, there was no communication with me about the screening date and how it was going to be done. That's what I'm talking about. At least they would have done that maybe via Zoom or something. Depending when I come, I present, if there was need for me to bring any, documentation to be physically cited or stuff like that. Yeah. Then when I come, I'll just go there and present, that to them. That's what I'm talking about.
So in the upcoming elections, what do you think the most pressing issues for Edo youth are going to be?
Okay, like I said, the mantra of my campaign was based on restoration of governance back to the people. And in doing that, I hinged my restoration on the READY agenda. READY agenda. READY, R, road rehabilitation. E, effective and efficient health system and education. The A stands for agricultural revolution. The D stands for debt reduction. Why the youth, which is the Y, stands for youths and women engagement and empowerment. Now, let me tell you something. My state, Edo State, going by the, the last results for the presidential election, it was obvious that those are called the shots, which is the, obedient factor. These are people that want good governance. They are not moved by money. They are not moved by any palliative. They just want to do what is right. And if you are taking that into consideration, my party, the APC, needs to be very careful in bringing out a candidate that will be generally accepted by Edo people. And as a youth, for instance, we all know the huge finances and resources that primary elections takes from an individual. As a youth, you don't expect a youth to be, to get such...
To be able to afford it.
To be able to afford it.
Yes.
So what I think APC should be doing, if they've streamlined these 6 aspirants, they should make sure that money, huge finances is not involved. Let the person with the competence and best qualified for that job, let them give that person the ticket.
How do you ensure finances are not involved when you're having a direct primary, where you're going to have any card-carrying member, be able to vote? It seems that direct primaries allow for more incentivization or more cash to enter the system. This is a debate that's been had in Nigerian politics for time immemorial, is whether direct primaries serve us or whether the delegate system serves us. Because if you allow more hands into the system, are we democratizing the system, or are we allowing room for even greater corruption within the system?
Okay, now, if you ask me, if, for instance, we have 6 aspirants now, if, for example, the 6 aspirants come together and say, you know what, let's give this man or this young guy a chance. I don't think the issue of once there's a consensus candidate.
So you think that the way to go about it is whether if there is a consensus candidate?
Yes, if they agree to say, okay, you know what, let's shun this money politics because it has eaten deep to the Nigerian system.
Can I ask you a question? Did you have to buy a form?
No, I have not bought a form.
You didn't buy a form?
No, I didn't buy a form,
Okay.
no, because I think they had to, just an aspirant that bought a form before they now put a halt to the system and said, okay, you know what, let's meet with these aspirants and try and prune it down. I've not bought the form yet, so I'm sure. But the window is open for the purchase. The window is open right now to the end. I think first week of February. So I didn't buy a form.
And how much is the form?
The expression of interest is 10 million, while the nomination itself is 40 million. That's about 50 million.
50 million.
50 million naira, yes.
So I mean that is a substantial amount of money just for the form.
Oh yes, it is.
And I imagine if you then pay 50 million naira for a form, will you just have a consensus? if you put down money and if you purchase a form and they say, okay, let's have a consensus candidate, do you do that for free?
That is why I'm telling you that that's what the party is trying to do. See, there's no point, going to purchase a form when we can have a negotiation, have an understanding and say, okay, let's look at the aspirants and see who is best qualified for the job. So that's why they put a hold on the sales of form. Nobody should buy the form until we resolve and say, okay, this is the way to go. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Thank you so much for being on here. We appreciate your time and of course your analysis and wish you all the best. This is Kasimu Otono, APC.
Barrister Kasimu.
Barrister Kasimu.
I feel, this Edo State gubernatorial election there's a lot of barristers involved.
It's a legal representation.
We love the law we love the law in Edo State.
Thank you for being on here, Barrister Kasimu Otono, APC governorship aspirants. We appreciate your time and your analysis.